created everything. Look what a powerful being you are. You did these things, but now you're in a human body, you forget the power you have.
Welcome to Meta Mystics, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan, and tonight we bring back, I can't say everyone's favorite psychic because we have a lot of favorite psychics that we have on this show. You're one of everybody's favorite psychics. Welcome back, Shannon Torrence.
Thank you. I don't think you just tell everybody I'm the favorite.
I know.
If you build it, they will come.
I know, but all the psychics
are my favorite. With all due respect to all the others who I know are great too.
I've had on at least 10 or 15 other psychics on this show. Although it's only been like you and Cassandra, I think, are the only ones that have made it here multiple times.
I am so honored.
Yeah, dude. Oh, you know what? Before we get started, I want to get a little bit of the business out the way. I just last night, I've only been podcasting for coming up on 6 years, but I only just last night created my first website, and metamystics.com was taken because of course it is. And they wanted me to pay like $4,000 to buy it. And I was like, no, I would rather not. So I was thinking about, man, what's a really fun, creative type of name for a podcast? Anyway, I ended up coming to, it's called onlymystics.com.
Sexy.
Yes. Well, there is no sex to be bought there. No naked pictures, just mystical type shit. It's basically just a landing page, you know, like, I like the websites that are real, like clean and easy. Like if you ever went to joerogan.com, you can see how just he has the links right there for all of his social medias, a little bio about him, and that's all you really need. Nobody's trying to go through all the millions of pages and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep it simple. Ended up tiddling with it last night, and it came out pretty decent, I think. So if anybody wants to go check it out, it's onlymystics.com. And so anyway, now that we got that out the way, how have you been, Shannon?
I've been great. Thanks for asking overall. Life has its ups and downs, but nothing too down. Thanks for asking.
It's like the elevator business, you know?
Yeah. Pretty much I think life has been good.
That's good. Yeah. I feel like things are starting to turn around. I released a video the other day talking about like, you know, I went through like a really harsh 2 or 3 month like crazy period in my life. But I really feel like it's on the, you know, the pendulum swinging the other way now. Everything's going fine, and you know, so we're back to even at worst.
What goes down must come up, and the other way around. It's just the flow of life.
Yeah.
I'm also doing a group reading on Saturday at one of my favorite spiritual shop in Los Angeles. So I'm excited. I don't know if any of these people listening would be from Los Angeles, but I'm at the Crooked Path on Saturday, which is exciting. It's in Burbank, and it's a great metaphysical shop that you would love.
The Crooked Path, I feel like I've heard of that before.
Maybe because I've been plugging it for a few weeks.
Yeah,
probably. I'm excited about it. I love doing group readings. It's my favorite way to do readings, I think.
Well, that's why we love having you here, because you are just on fire every time you come here.
Oh my God, I just remembered what happened last time. That was crazy.
Oh, which part?
Well, there was somebody I mentioned, and then afterwards you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty significant. And it turned out to be like a whole thing. And I just got somebody's name, and it was somebody that there was like a whole relevant kind of story behind. It was kind of a personal thing, nothing scandalous, but just personal. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was super interesting.
It was like a public thing, which is fine because it wasn't anything scandalous, but it was just interesting.
Yeah, we had to go in a little bit more depth after the show on that one.
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing about, you know, like people like you who are able to just tap into a field of information, and you know, and you hear about people who are able to access higher dimensions or higher densities or whatever. Maybe they channel aliens or what have you, and it's or even the people that, you know, get abducted. They all say that like you can't lie on these higher dimensions because it's all telepathic. Like they're reading your resonant energy field essentially, and so it's interesting because I bet you call people out on a lot of their bullshit, right?
I
Like
don't.
if
I
you
think
really
I-
try and tap in.
I mean, I probably could. I just don't really tap in that way. I think I just don't. But I'm sure I could if I sat down with them and saw stuff. Yeah. But it's also, I think there are things I'm not meant to know because then the human experience wouldn't be the human experience. So there's still some mystery that needs to be there. And wouldn't it be terrible if we could all read each other's minds?
Well, I mean, it would cause you to pay a little bit more attention to what goes through your mind, wouldn't it?
But sometimes you can't help what goes through your mind.
I know.
But
Well, I mean,
there'd
that's
be a lot more transparency. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think that most people are pretty unaware about the range of thoughts and the highs and the lows and the weird and the shameful or whatever thoughts that go through your mind. But I think that if we were able to read each other's minds like that, man, like I feel like we would. I don't know. I mean, I guess people, you want to be secretive and stuff like that. I get it. And obviously you don't want everybody knowing all your business and stuff like that.
Right.
But how cool would it be to just like not worry about what anybody thinks about what
an
you're
interesting
thinking?
social experiment for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
it would
what
be.
if we all just knew what the other was thinking at all times?
Well, I mean, there probably would be some like less wars and stuff, I would imagine.
Hopefully, yeah. I keep wishing that all the world leaders would have. Well, I think that it should be mandatory that all world leaders need to have an ayahuasca journey before they take office. That's what I vote for.
It should be a requirement. I honestly, I think we need to come up with a new constitution, and anybody that wants to run for any kind of government office, I mean, look, you can run for whatever position you want, but you got to go through the entry fee here. Like, and the entry, and it'll be provided for free, and I'll happily trip sit for anybody that wants to get into office. That'll be fun. Be like, look, I'm
should be
here with you
mandatory.
on your journey. And what is this trip teaching you right now? Does it
just
make you
dying
want to
to
bomb
know.
Israel more or not Israel, but Iran or whatever? It's like, no,
That's-
you
I
probably
just
don't want to
wonder,
do
I'm
that.
like, what would a trip like, what would it be like if somebody like President Trump had an ayahuasca trip? Like, I would love to hear what happened on the, like, I don't even know. I'm just curious. I would just like to know.
It's
how
never
he
too old to
interpreted it.
know thyself, you know?
I just think it would be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be super interesting. Although, I don't know, dude. Imagine being so sure of what you think reality is for 70, 75 years, however old he is.
Yeah.
And then, like, having it completely wrecked.
I know. That's
off
why
of
I
a
just
super, like Whiteboard
curious.
Wizard said, 5 MEO. Imagine taking 5 MEO at 75 years old. You'd be, okay, so I don't know anything then.
Yeah.
I've wasted my life.
That would be so cool. I would just love to see what would happen.
It would be interesting. Yeah. Be a fun thought experiment anyway. So have you've been having more sessions and stuff like that, and you talk about like your group sessions and everything. Have you had anything psychically to where it has just been, does it feel like it's ramping up a little bit, or that it's easier to tap into the field the more you do it?
Yes, absolutely. I had another. I'll touch on that in a minute. It is easier the more you do it, because the more you do it, the more you trust the process. It's not so much that it's a perfect science, because it absolutely is not a perfect science, and I can't control what happens. And that's the thing that can be a little bit nerve-wracking about it, is I never know what's about to happen. I just have to trust. And I have the word trust tattooed on my wrist, because I have to remind myself it's not about you. You literally just sit there and you literally just ask Spirit what needs to be known, what needs to be shared. And that's all I have to do. And then it works, and then I feel more confident. And now when I do readings, I don't worry so much if I'm quote unquote wrong, or if somebody says, no, that doesn't resonate, because now I've learned, and I'll give you examples because I like anecdotes. Now I've learned that it's a no for now, but it's going to come around. I know it's going to come around. So I know this just happened, and I'll have to think about that for a second, because I know this literally just happened, where I said a thing and it was like the person couldn't take it, and then it came around the next day. I can't remember what it was right now, but if when I do, I'll tell you. It's a great story, Shan. But one thing too that I just want to mention while I'm here, this is just a stamp of something. This is my time stamp. About 2 hours ago, I just started to feel really, really, really anxious and uneasy. And I don't usually get like bad predictions or anything, but I just am time stamping this before I forget. And I'd love to hear what you have to say, Jonathan, because I don't know if this is like, I was going to ask you CERN related. I don't even know enough about that, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I just had this, oh my God, I couldn't calm down. I felt so anxious. I was just walking through the grocery store, feeling immense. Something is about to happen. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say it's like universally bad. It's just that feeling I get when somebody's about to pass. So it doesn't mean any of you are. So don't panic about it. It's just, I need to timestamp this because I feel like something dramatic is about to happen, but I don't know what it is yet. Do you have this feeling? Is this just me? I don't know where it came from. It just became like this overwhelming, I feel like I'm about to explode.
I have, and I never really talk about it, but I have so many dreams where it's the end of the world. Like so many. And end of the world is an interesting thing to even say, because is it the end of the world from my perspective? You know, is it the end of the world from everybody's perspective? But it's been so strange. I've had like 2 or 3 of them over the past not too long. And one of them, I remember it was like literally raining fireballs. Like it was like, I don't know if it was asteroids or, some kind of bombs that were being dropped or something. But I just remember looking up and it was crazy. It was just like so many fireballs that were coming in. And I knew, and that's why I say, I don't know if it was, bombs or asteroids or what have you, but I was at somebody's front door. It was at like a house I'd never been to before. And I was like, dude, look up. Like, do you see what's going on? And he goes, oh man, we only got a couple more minutes. And he was like, well, just, call your family and tell them everything's going to be all right. And it was like real somber, and dude, it was crazy. Right. And it was so strange. And I woke up before anything happened. And then there was another one where it was so strange, dude. It was like humans adapted to learn how to live underwater. And I saw the same thing, but from underwater. I don't know, dude. I don't know what that's
Your
about.
dreams
Because
are really prophetic and clear. It sounds
a lot of times, yeah. Taylor said, I heard fireball in my freaking head right as Shannon was saying her timestamp. Oh my God. Then Jonathan says fireball. I'm taking that as some weird ass synchronicity. Wow.
Thanks, Taylor, for weighing in. Because here's the thing. Okay. So one thought I had is I'm like, so, it's, I was thinking there's really heavy energy of grief. Like I kept feeling like I was going to cry, and I don't know. I'm a pretty even-keeled person, and I cry when there's a need to cry, but I don't often cry. So I also just had a feeling that someone who's listening to might have a very recent tragic passing. So if anybody has, because I'm like, but I think it's twofold. I think one is that there's something big about to happen in this world, like you said, Taylor, and I do feel like, and there are a lot of fires right now because it's summertime. I'm in Arizona right now. We had Sedona. LA, every day there's a fire. So I don't know what that is, but I also just kept feeling like this really awful, heavy feeling in my chest, like somebody might have just taken their life. So if anybody here feels comfortable and has lost somebody recently, like it feels like a very tragic loss, just let me know. It may come to me as we go, but I couldn't quite place it. I kept feeling like somebody is either about to die, and look, maybe it's a world figure.
You know, it's really strange. I mean, I'm not trying to speak this into existence, but Sean called me yesterday, and he's been saying, like, for the last few months, I've been saying, like, man, I just don't feel right. I don't know, like, what's wrong.
Yeah.
There's just something off. I don't know what it is. And he kind of just like puts it off to the side. Anyway, he kept on saying that it was like in like his stomach area, right? And and he's a big boy, so I'm like, maybe you just got a fart or something, like just fucking with him, And so his wife finally told him, like, you got to go to the doctor and get that shit checked out. So he
Yeah.
goes and he finds out that he has fatty liver disease.
Oh my goodness.
And it's something that if you don't treat it and you don't take the precautions, you could die
Yeah.
from,
Yeah.
right? But he's like, all right, he's like taking it head on, and he's not
good.
stressing or worried about it. He's like, I'll be damned if like I die at this age, because it's so weird too, because I've always, like, ever since I was a little kid, I always compared him to Chris Farley. Like, he's just got that same personality. He's a big,
he's the most
funny guy.
lovable.
Yeah, yeah, and always doing like the physical kind of comedy, hurting himself, and the weird funny faces and stuff. Anyway, he's like, which is the reason why I wanted him to be my co-host in the first place, just because I love talking to him. He's so damn funny to me. But anyway, he was like, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Chris Farley, dude, do you know how old Chris Farley was when he died?
God, it's funny because now that I'm older, was he like your age?
He was 33.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like I just realized that as I'm like, wow, it's been such a long time. He probably was only like 35. I was thinking like 35, 30, something
Yeah, like
that.
33 or 34, somewhere in
He's a
there.
baby.
I'm older than that now. I'm like, oh
I
my God,
know.
my idol. I'm older than, it's so weird.
crazy.
But, I told him that. I was like, dude, even fucking Chris Farley died at a young age. And he goes, I know, I've already been thinking about it. I'll be damned if that same thing happens to me. So
Yeah.
he's been doing everything that he can and, eating better and, sweating and working out and drinking
Good.
only water and black coffee and stuff like that. And he said that whenever he beats it, he's going to, come back on the show and talk about it.
Okay,
But he
good.
didn't really want to come on and talk while he's dealing with it. And I was like, I get that. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I get that too.
But
Yeah.
no, I don't know. It's so weird though. So you think that there is something extra that could potentially happen?
Yeah,
Like,
I just
whenever
and,
you
and
get,
look, it could be to me. I mean, I don't. It could be to someone I know. It may not even be about the collective, but I definitely am feeling like a big thing is about to happen now. I'm not going to go ahead. Everyone's been saying the president's going to pass any second now. I don't see that. Like, I don't know. I don't literally, when I say I don't see it, I anticipate it because he's unwell and he's older. And I know people that have worked with him and told me like how his health really is. And up close, like he's been unhealthy for a long time, but that could just be me absorbing what people are saying. It's also inevitable that at some point he's going to pass. So I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if I don't think this is what it is, Jonathan, but I also have been feeling tsunami kind of activity, like Katrina again. So just, I mean, in your area,
come
not
on, man.
necessarily not necessarily like, you have to worry about it imminently, but just that's also been something that I kept seeing. But again, that's not what this is. Like that's not what I'm feeling right now. I think there will be another similar thing. It may not be as severe. But I just know I feel super unsettled. And the times when I have felt like this, somebody has passed. So it may just be me in my life. So don't worry, anybody. I don't give bad news. Like I don't deliver bad news. I just wanted to timestamp it because I'm just feeling like so weird today.
you know
And
what?
I just want to kind of find, in a couple days, let's remember this.
Do you listen to like Bashar talk? Like you ever see
Yeah.
clips or videos of him talking, right? How do you feel about him? I'm really like, there's some days where I'm like, oh my God, he's really
Yeah.
on it. Then there's other days where I'm like, I don't know.
This is my personal opinion. And it's not even an opinion. It's just a feeling I have that for me, channeling like he does, I listen to it. I take from it what resonates with me, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't think he's faking. I think whatever he's doing, I don't think he's a sham. I think he truly, like, even if it's not real, he feels it's real.
Oh, it's proven that he's going into the
Yeah.
gamma state every single time.
Which
is where you would go for channeling.
Yeah, I do believe that he's channeling. I just don't know what to make of it in terms of, sometimes it just feels like word salad to me. That's what I mean. It's like, I think that we do channel. I think we're completely capable of channeling. And sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, It's just all kind of general. But I do like his like the teachings, regardless of where it comes from. And I also listen to Abraham Hicks a lot. And I'm like,
yes.
either
Love
this
her.
is a human being, I love her. I'm like, either this is a human being who's extremely wise and quick on their feet and has really good instincts, or there's legitimately a being speaking through her. And I don't think she's faking it at all.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think so at all. So I like it. I listen to it. And then sometimes when I hear channeling in general, I'm like, is this person really receiving information? I don't know. I just don't know. I've never done it. I've never done that kind of channeling.
Yeah.
Or is it, or the question is, are they legitimately channeling 100% of the time? Only they can say what it feels like. You know, because people have said to me, well, how do you know you're not tapping in psychically? I'm like, well, I am to a degree, but I know because it feels different. And I can't show you what that feels like because it's happening inside of me. So if I'm doing a psychic reading, I'm just sort of feeling like I'm getting information, but I don't really feel much. If I'm getting information from the spirit world, I'm getting full body chills. I'm getting tingles down my back, like somebody's playing with my hair. I can feel an energy there. And that's how I know when it's coming from spirit. But that doesn't always happen. So it's hard to tell. Like sometimes I am tapping, I'm in your energy field, as opposed to your long lost grandmother speaking to you through me.
You know what's really strange is that I've had a good amount of people, pass because of old age or what have you in my life. But for some reason, man, just Optimistic Banks Diet it's so strange because I feel like he's the only one where the signs and synchronicities that I get, he's the only one where I can almost say with certainty that I know that those signs are from him.
Yeah.
Like it is so spot on. All the other signs and synchronicities, I'm like, okay, like, but Optimistic, with, anytime I hear optimistic in general, it doesn't have to even be spelled like mystic, right? But like anytime I hear optimistic, or if I see a 333, or if I see it's so strange. It's like, I see those signs every day. And now I don't know if that is my mind or my brain just looking for certain patterns and stuff like that. But I mean, isn't that how you would operate in a spiritual world, is by looking for patterns? Isn't that why there are synchronicities? Isn't that why, like, we need patterns in physical reality? What's to say that we don't need patterns in any other reality?
I've had that thought before because, I don't know how I do what I do. I just know that it works. And then I have even asked myself, what if it's just pattern recognition? But it isn't. And I can tell you how I know. It's like, because pattern recognition is something that's subconscious. So I could look at you and be like, I know the type. I know that guy. I know the type of guy. He's probably drives a truck because he's got his hat on backwards. He's probably, he probably lives in the South because he's got a little bit, my brain could formulate. But the thing is, I know that that's not what's happening. And the reason is that sometimes what I get is so freaking specific. That's not a pattern recognition. Like how did I get a first and last name of somebody that I've never met that's in the spirit world? Or how did I know, like one time I said, I've got this Great Dane here and they're saying the name Stonewall Jackson. And the lady goes, Stonewall Jackson was the name of the dog that my Great Dane used to play with all the time. And I was like, there is no way that's pattern recognition. Like, how would I know that?
Yeah.
And it's also, again, like the chills that go through my body when I feel that there's a Great Dane. Like I know, and how do I know it's a Great Dane? I don't know. I just know. It's almost like I already met that dog and that's how I know. And we all have access to this information. We all are psychic. We all have mediumship abilities. The only thing separating me from you is whether or not you believe in it or practice it. But the sixth sense isn't out there. It's like it's something that we have been taught is fantasy, but it isn't, because how do we know when someone's, how like you're somewhere and all of a sudden you feel like you're being watched and you turn around and there's someone staring at you? That's just energy. And that's a survival instinct. We have to have that sense, because if we were in the wild and there was a cougar in the bushes ready to pounce, how would we know to protect ourselves? It's like an energy. Now, sometimes animals don't sense it and they lose, but that's kind of, it's meant to protect us. It's meant, and that's why people who have PTSD often tend to be psychic, highly psychic, because their brain grew around trauma. So if you had like an alcoholic dad that came home every night and was unpredictable and he was screaming all the time, and the next thing he was really kind, and the next thing you know, he's slamming doors again, you're always on high alert. So you develop PTSD as a protective mechanism that's like, anticipate the danger so that next time I'll be ready. And then what happens is, once that happens over and over and over, your brain becomes so highly sensitive to danger that it's scanning the room. It's like an antenna. And then you start finding you're picking up other signals, the unseen world. So if you have trauma, which most people do, but some more severe than others, I would not be surprised if you're also highly attuned to the spirit world.
Did you, not to get too much into your business, but like that
You
whole...
can get into my business.
That whole dad example you just gave, was that something that you experienced?
Not me, no. I'm very fortunate that I have the most loving dad, but I just know people that it's happened to. And also there's one of my mediumship teachers wrote a book. Her name's Carmel Joy Baird, and she talked about that. Like, I think it might have been she who said that her father was like super abusive. I don't want to say that in case I'm wrong about it, but I'm pretty sure she said there was some like violence in her home or something. And so as a kid, you're always on guard. And I also know people that have PTSD that just always know things before it's going to happen. And so I've kind of put it together over time. And I've also just heard that from other mediums, that I didn't have that kind of trauma, but a lot of mediums experienced some kind of heightened trauma, which sort of flipped that switch for them.
That makes a lot of sense, dude.
Yep.
Wow. And I'm just like, I didn't know that was an example to be made, but
right. If you're always and that's something that I don't know that I learned it. I've just sort of pieced it together.
You're just on high alert.
I just know a lot about PTSD because I have loved ones that have suffered from it. And it's, your brain is trying to protect you by making you ready for the next event. So unfortunately it hyper functions, and then everything feels like it's danger, and your brain is going in a loop. But also, as it's scanning the room for danger at all times, which is really unhealthy for our bodies, but it thinks it's helping us. It's scanning the room and picking up all kinds of unseen energies.
Oh man, that's just so weird, because I just relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was a drunken fucking asshole, dude. Like every single day, dude, he would literally every day, whenever he got off of work, and he would get home like around 4 or 5 or something like that, right? Every day would buy a 30-pack of fucking Natty Light and pound the entire case in one night, every night for literally my entire childhood. And he's sober now, so he's not as much of a dick anymore.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like literally everybody knew him as like he was Jekyll and Hyde, because there's some days where he would be, you know, like just really cool and wanting to do stuff, and you know, then there's other days where it was like traumatic, dude. Like it was just so much, and it wasn't like, you know, physical abuse. It wasn't like that, but it was the mental. You know, it was always walking on eggshells. And that's why, dude, I've said this on the show before, I developed, and I didn't even know, like, I forgot about this for the longest time, but I developed a sense to be able to know whenever he was getting ready to like come up into my room. Like I knew, because he would always trying to be sneaky and try and catch us doing something that we weren't supposed to be doing or whatever, whether it was playing PlayStation too late or whatever, right? Or wrestling. Me and my brother always wrestled because we were addicted to, you know, watching wrestling, and I'm the older brother, so that's just how things went. But there would be times where he would try and sneak up on us, and I could hear his energy from like 10 feet away coming up. And I would tell my brother, I'd be like, all right, turn that off, or stop doing that, or, you know, clean the room real quick, or whatever would trigger him. And he'd be like, why? And I'd be like, he's coming. And he'd be like, I don't hear anything. I'd be like, watch. Every time I called it, like it got to a point to where I was catching on. And it was so weird because it wasn't a sound. It wasn't his breath. It wasn't his footsteps. it was just like the frequency in the room changed. And
Yep.
I just picked up on it, and that frequency was only his. Like there was no other frequency that matched that, So really,
I
weird
probably
that you
did
made
pick that up.
example.
Yeah. Well, I was, that's the image that came into my mind when I was describing it is a father. I said, just happened to be a father, could be a mother, could be anybody. But that the, father comes home angry, maybe throwing things around, even if they're not hurting you. It's just that tension in the room. And then also what I know of alcoholics is, and then the next minute they can be so lovely and giving you all this love. And you're like, oh, I can trust this. I'm feeling safe. And that creates attachment issues. That's a whole other podcast. But that also definitely makes you hyper. It's just a constant state of fight or flight where you're constantly walking on eggshells. And that's living with any addict. And then the severity of abuse can vary, but under those circumstances, you're going to be very highly hypervigilant. And when you're hypervigilant, you're also like, I can see all, I'm also hearing every noise or I'm picking up everything. And this also comes back to, I feel like, I hope I'm not a broken record, the highly sensitive person, which I am. And I read the book, The Highly Sensitive Person, which I recommend to all empaths. And the highly sensitive person is, interestingly, often diagnosed with ADHD. And I don't believe that ADHD is actually a disorder. I think it's like we are just highly, highly, highly emotionally intelligent and we don't fit into the box. And we're being crammed into this uncomfortable thing and then told that we're dysfunctional because we can't hang in like the structure. And I don't mean to say that some people don't have it to a degree where it is very disruptive, and but that can always be that can always kind of go hand in hand with autism and other things. So
yeah, dude, that ADD or ADHD medicine, because I was prescribed it my whole childhood. It was like it was crazy because I used to be I'm more ADD than ADHD, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm always daydreaming. Like I'm hardly ever in the moment, or I was hardly ever in the moment.
Too?
Taurus,
that's right. Oh no, you're a Taurus. Yeah.
And so it was for me, it wasn't necessarily that. It's like almost like I was daydreaming more. It was like I was daydreaming while I was paying attention at the same time. It was like I was doing two things at the same time with the medicine, which I don't know, I guess is good and bad, but it's weird. I'm sure it affects everybody differently, but it just made the outside noise come more in, it felt like.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I went on that little bit of a tangent, but it's because I think a lot of people can relate to it. If you're a highly sensitive person, we are, from an evolutionary standpoint, we are the 15% of the population that were the protectors of the herd. I mean, not the protectors, the watchers. So if you're in a herd, and there have to be the protectors. Those are the ones that will go to battle. The I don't know. We have like the hunters and gatherers, the protectors, and then you've got the 15% of the herd that are the sensitives. We're sensitive because we have to listen for danger in the bushes. So we were made highly, highly sensitive with highly sensitive nervous systems to our own detriment as humans because we can't shake off trauma the way that animals can. So, but I digress. So we would be the watchers, the ones that were like, psst, there's a sound. And we're also the mediums of the world. But so yeah, it's 15% of the population. We're often pathologized, or it's like, oh, you're too sensitive, or you have ADHD, or you're neurodivergent, which, I think there are degrees of this, but ultimately being a highly sensitive person is similar to autism, where we notice all the little details because it's a survival instinct. It's also why we get very, very, very tired and exhausted after socializing or going out, or we tend to be what they call spoonies, where it's an expression to describe people who run out of, you only have a few spoons. And it comes from the woman who coined the term was at lunch and explaining it to someone, and there happened to be spoons. And she was saying, I've got 5 spoons for the day. One spoon is my kids. The next spoon is this. And then I've only got 1 spoon left, and that's all I got. And I'm like that, where I have a lot of energy until I don't. And then I'm like, I need 15 hours of sleep to recoup. But I say this because that's very common. Well, it's very common for people like us to be mediums. But it's also very common to recognize that there's an evolutionary purpose to the way that we are, or even just your response to trauma. I don't know if you were diagnosed with PTSD, but for sure, you're going to have some kind of a trauma response growing up in a household that wasn't safe or consistent.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody was diagnosed with it, but it's pretty damn obvious. It was traumatic.
I mean, yeah.
And I think that's why, all three of us kids, we all dealt with it very differently. Like me, my brother, and my sister, we all dealt with it. Like we all lived through all of the ups and the downs and all of that stuff, right? But like the older we got, you see just how different we compartmentalized it and handled it, and either grew from it or stunted, the growth from it or what have you. And it's so weird to see what trauma does to each individual. I wanted to ask you though, so as far as whenever you first learned that you were picking up information from the field, like when did you know, all right, maybe I should start trusting it? Like, was there a moment where you were like, oh, I just had that thought and then I see it? Like, was there a connective moment to where you're like, maybe I should try and work with this a little bit more?
No. And I would say, subconsciously, that's what all of us are doing all the time, and we just don't realize it. So pay attention to those thoughts in your head. When you start to really focus on what's in the back of your mind, that's when you're like, oh, there's other stuff happening that's not at the surface, as we've discussed. And I love practicing that with you too. So for me, I sought it out, and I was going through a dark night of the soul, long story, writing a book about it. And during the dark night of the soul, I had to kind of do a lot of reflection. I started to read books at the time, like self-help books, and that kind of led me down. I was reading books by mediums, and in these books, famous mediums that I'd always admired said, all of us are mediums, you just have to train yourself to do it. And I was going through such a dark night of the soul, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life? This wasn't something I was thinking of doing for money. It was just like a curiosity. And the reason I know now, is because I was meant to be a medium. So I don't know why I was so fascinated. I just suddenly wanted to read all about it. And then I started to take classes and workshops. And I remember going into my first workshop with medium Fleur, who's one of the best mediums in the world. And I went to this place in LA. It was like an old kind of warehouse place. And we had and I thought to myself, I'm going to be like the quote unquote worst in the class, meaning like, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. There's no way I'm going to be good at this. I'm sure these people are all like born psychics, and they're probably all way more advanced than I am, but I'll just kind of play the game. And so we got there, and she led us through this meditation. It was like, open your heart, let it like feel your vibration expand, feel your soul expanding. And all of a sudden I started to feel this vibration that was like moving in circles. It was like a what do you call it? Like a centrifuge or something. I felt like this buzzing in my body, and it was really, I was like, whoa, that's weird. But then she had us do exercises, and she sat us down across from a partner, and we kept switching. It was like musical chairs. So she's like, for the first exercise, I want you to tell me what this person does for a living. And I've never done this before. So of course the instinct is you want to guess. Like I bet he works with, like, I'd look at you and be like, I bet he works with his hands. I bet he works with wood. That's what I would think if I looked at you. I'd probably think you were like a woodworker. Just, but again, that's where we have to get rid of our perceptions of people. And so in some of the exercises, she blindfolded us, which I appreciated because it's so easy to want to think. Well, she said, okay, just say what's coming to your mind. And I said, well, I'm seeing IKEA furniture and the Peace Corps. And the woman said, I just started a business where I'm having people in indigenous villages build furniture it's like a nonprofit in Africa where they're building the furniture and I'm having it shipped so that they can make money for their communities. So it's sort of like a nonprofit organization to help. And I was like, that's all it is. It was a symbol. IKEA furniture, it was just like tables and chairs. And then I saw or had an impression. So then she moved us around the room and she's like, blindfold. And she's like, tell the other person what their house looks like. And I'm just like, I see dream catchers. She's like, yep, my whole house is filled with dream catchers. And I'm just like, how did I do that? I mean, it was like effortless. And then I said, why am I seeing a fire? She's like, because our warehouse just burned down. And then after I left this, I was like, oh my God, that's it? So I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm so excited. Like, I can do this. I'm really, really excited. So then I just was like signing up for every class. And of course, in the beginning, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm giving free readings. I'm just like, I'm kind of probably missing the mark. But over time, you start to put the pieces together. Even still, it's been like 7 years and I'm still learning to put the pieces together. Like I said, you'll see symbols. And I'm like, how does that relate to this? It's not the medium's job to figure it out. But if I see something like blackjack, I don't even know that. I didn't see something. I just heard like right now, I didn't see any. I don't even know what blackjack would look like. I just heard the word blackjack. So do you play blackjack, or is there something about blackjack that's significant to you?
I do love blackjack, but
you do?
that's the only game I play whenever I go to the casino.
Okay.
And actually, I told this story, but it was like back in April, I went to WrestleMania, which is in Vegas this past year. And whenever we went there, we were on like this train, because you had to take like one of those electric trains, whatever they're called, trams. And you had to take one of those from the hotel in order to get to the stadium, right? Because otherwise you're going to pay an arm and a leg for a fucking Uber ride that's 1.5 miles away. It was like $80 to go 1.5 miles, which is crazy to me. So we were like, all right, we're just going to take the tram. And we get there, we're on the tram, and this guy goes, man, like he's like just staring at me, you know? And I can't remember what his name is now. I just want to make sure I got it right. Okay, there we go. So he's like staring at me. And I was like, I mean, I'm not trying to start a fight on the tram because I don't, you know, I'm here for a good time, you know? But he was like staring at me. I was like, what are you looking at? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, you know, you just look so much like Stephen Amell. And he's the actor, if you've ever seen Arrow. It's a TV show called Arrow. He goes, God, you just look so much like him. And he goes, I kind of thought that it would be him because he's a huge wrestling fan as well. And I imagine he would probably, you know, go to a lot of WrestleManias too. And I was like, oh, you know, that's strange because there's only ever been one other person that told me I look like him. And I was like, but he's more handsome than me. So whatever. He's a Hollywood actor. And I was like, well, thank you though. That's cool. And he was like, no big deal. So we get off the tram, and in order to get to the stadium, you get off the tram in one of the casinos, right? And so you get off in one of the casinos, you walk out of the casino, then you take a little walk, and then you're able to get over to Allegiant Stadium. This stadium looks like a fucking UFO in the middle of the desert. So we get there, we get off the tram, go through the casino, and we were already there yesterday because WrestleMania is like a 2-day event, right? So we had already known our way about how to get through there because we had already done it once before. And I was like, you know, we haven't gotten on the blackjack tables or anything like that since we've been here because we didn't do it the first day because it was just a lot and we were tired. And so I was like, you know, we still got some time. Let's go jump on a blackjack table. So I walked through. And I was just like, all right, well, there's a table that doesn't have that many people on it. Plus, they only had it was like $10 minimum, which is pretty rare in Vegas. And so I was like, all right, I'll get on this one. And I'm looking over, and long story short, fucking Stephen Amell is at this blackjack table with me.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like, literally, I heard that I looked just like him 5 minutes before this. And I was like, and I even said at the table, I was like, bro, we live in a fucking matrix. And nobody knew what I meant by it, but I was just so mind blown that those are just the words that came out. And it was just the strangest synchronicity. But that's not why I think you come up with the blackjack, though. I just wanted to share that story. So today is I'm not even saying it's for me, I'm just throwing it out there. If I had to relate for it.
I think it is, though. Yeah.
So my nephew just turned 12 today. And so we got the candles, and it's not like 12 candles. It's 2 candles, a 1 and a 2. And my niece is 7 years old, and she was like, which way does 12 go? Because she's like, she mixes things up. And she was showing me 21. And I was like, oh no, he's 12. He wishes he was 21. I was just joking about it. And as soon as she showed 21, I was like, anytime I see the number 21, I think blackjack every single time. And so I don't know. That's a weird.
So you just thought that
synchronicity.
today?
Literally, like 2 hours ago, maybe.
So I could have tapped in on psychic, like that could have been a psychic hit for me because I literally just heard blackjack, and I don't have any affiliation with blackjack. So again, that's a way that I might be tapping into you psychically because I'm in your energy field, so I can kind of see things that happened today. I can often just sort of like see what's in someone's house. We all can, and so. And on that note, like how it works is so easy. Like one thing that is that people think, oh, you're a medium, you must just see dead people everywhere. It's not like that. It's more like a thought. Like I'm in this house, I'm dog sitting for my friend, and I felt a spirit close to me, and I just said, who's that? He said, Jim. So I texted my friend. I said, did the guy who used to live here, was his name Jim? She goes, yeah, it was. And she's like, I'm pretty sure he passed in this house, but if nothing else, he was the former owner and lived here for many years. And so it's not like I saw a guy sitting in a chair. I just kind of was like, I felt a little tingle. I knew there was someone there, and I just said, who is it? And the name Jim came into my head. So it's kind of that easy. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be consistent all the time, because the whole work of mediumship is trust. So over time, once you're like, okay, I'm seeing furniture, I'm seeing Peace Corps, putting that together, I don't know what that means, but the person's like, I know what that means. And then I start to say, okay, well, when I had that thought, it didn't come in, I didn't think, I just spoke. So even now it's like, also, and I'll just say this too, like, it's kind of like you have to just relax and say whatever that comes out. It's scary because it feels like you're making it up. I'm an actor for a living. It's the scariest thing when I first started, because as an actor, I have a script. I know all I have to do, and in voiceover, we don't even have to memorize it. But even when I've done film or whatever, it's like, okay, all I have to do is know the word, like know the words, feel the feelings, and now I know what I'm supposed to do. I know my blocking. I know I'm supposed to stand here. When you get up to do a reading, it's like, I have no idea. I feel like I'm whipping it out of my butt. And then suddenly people are going, no, that totally makes sense. And I'm like, it does? Okay. And it's not, my teacher told me, one of my teachers said, it feels like you're making it up. Like it feels so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, so, and I'll even ask you this, or if somebody else can relate to this, or like claim it, whatever. But I had a grandmother. Well, I still have a grandmother. She's just on the other side. And we used to call her Lala. And for some reason, like, this whole time that I've been with you, I keep hearing Lala. And the thing is, okay, could it be my grandmother? Possibly. I didn't really know her very well. But I almost had this feeling like somebody else has a grandmother that would have a similar name. So if anybody can claim that, let me know. But I kept hearing it but I almost felt like it was you, Jonathan. Felt like a grandmother on the other side that has a name that's not like grandma. It's like something that she would have been called because the kids called her something, but it's not the normal thing. It's like a made up name. Did you have a grandmother that had like a name that was like, the thought I had, and I'm just going to tell you, was like, it's not Lala, but it's like how you called your grandma Lala when you were little, and that's why that was her name. Like, do you have a grandma that you called something funny?
Kind of. So my cousin Blake is the oldest of all of us cousins on my dad's side of the family, right? And whenever my grandma, whenever she was coming to be a grandma, she didn't want to be called grandma. She wanted to be called Nana, right? But my cousin Blake couldn't pronounce it, so he kept on saying Nana, 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 and it stuck, and that's what everybody called her, was Nana. And
that's not, yeah, usually it would be Nana.
Yeah, and so everybody called her Nana, and yeah, I mean, and I don't know, she probably died 19 or 20 years ago by now.
I almost said 17 years. That was what I just heard. It'd be interesting to see if it was 17 years. But I just kind of want to feel into that for a second, because like I kept hearing, he calls me something like like you called grandma, but it's not the same. And it's not something, and it had those two syllables. So I kind of want to say that she's here with you on this, in this realm. Is she your dad's mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause that's at first I was like, yeah, she just said I'm dad's mom. Did she also like smoke cigarettes at any point?
Yeah. I think in her younger years.
Younger. There's something like, cause what she kind of told me was later in life, these dogs, settle down. What she kind of told me was that there was like lung problems that she had that would have been caused because she smoked at one point in her life. Do you know if she had something like lung related towards the end of her life?
I can't
You don't remember?
I was a teenager whenever she had died, but
Okay.
I know like she died because it was something to do with, God, I'm trying to remember, but if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I remember like maybe she had a lung collapse or something along those lines.
I know because I can't breathe right now. I mean, I can, but I have the sensation of like, I literally was just going,
I mean,
like,
she was like a bad diabetic, you know, and
Okay.
she gained a lot of weight as a result of it and everything like that. So she had a lot of health complications.
I'm
so
feeling
that's
a weight on my chest with her. Like I'm having trouble like breathing, even though she's fine. I mean, she's on the other side and doing just fine. But she just feels very like, I don't know if you would describe her as like spunky, but did she, it's like she kind of feels sassy to me. Like she would have made fun of people. I don't know if does that make sense with her?
Oh,
It's almost like
yeah.
she's very, sarcastic and sassy. Like, and what I'm getting around her, and let me know if this is correct. This is such a stereotype. So I'm just going to say it. This is such a stereotype of a grandma, but there's something about like bingo. Did she actually play bingo? I know that's so specific.
I don't know.
You'd
if
have
she
to ask
did.
about that. It's such
Yeah.
a weird, it's interesting because I keep seeing her in this like place that looks like a gathering where it looks like a church, not a church basement, but that kind of feeling where she goes to something with a bunch of people, and it's something like bingo or some kind of game she plays. And then there's also she showed me a suitcase though, and I can't figure out if you have a suitcase of hers or like. I don't think that's what it is. It's like this zip up cloth suitcase. Did you put yourself inside of a suitcase when you were a kid as a joke, or like hide inside her suitcase, or there's something about a suitcase that I'm kind of not getting.
I don't know. I mean, we were over
Check
at her
on
house
that.
all the
Yeah.
time. I mean,
feels
because
like-
she was our closest like
Oh, okay.
grandparent. And she was, I mean, straight Italian. Like she was an Italian, right? But she was
Okay.
like one of those, she would put you in your place. She would put everybody in their place. The only person I've ever seen put my dad in place was her. Nobody else could do it. Like she was like a real strict woman, but she was hilarious whenever she was
Yeah.
being strict. Like she was
feels
so
like she
creative.
makes fun of people.
Yeah,
She's
like
sort of like when she's making fun of people, but in a very like lighthearted way, like calling them names or whatever, like you nincompoop or something, like, you know. But she means it in a loving way. And then there.
as far as the bingo part, it's weird that you bring that up. My sister, I was just talking with my sister. She's going to some kind of it's like a new age bingo hall where they have like
Okay.
neon and it's a dance party kind of thing, but it's a
Okay.
bingo thing that they're doing.
That's what it's
Saturday.
about. It's not that she played bingo. It's that she was there when you were talking about that, because that's there's a reference to bingo. And so I'm seeing that. And if did you just talk to your sister about that?
Like half an hour. Well,
Okay,
probably half
that
an
would
hour
make
before we
sense.
started. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm hearing bingo. Sometimes it's not the person. And then there was like a reference to Patsy Cline, which I'm not sure if that means anything to you in terms of, again, that's as I'm stereotyping an Italian woman, I'm not picturing her being into Patsy Cline, but there's something about country music that's like Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline. I don't know that it's her, but there's somebody that's really into that kind of music or has some kind of country music connection, not new country music, but old country music. And that may or may not be her, could be like her sister or something, or somebody, but there's like somebody that's talking about Patsy Cline. So just put that in your
Interesting.
hat for later,
Yeah,
or
I'll
at
talk to my
least,
dad about that.
or see if that's her. It could be totally something different. But did she wear like? She's showing me glasses that are shaded, like like the kind that get dark when you go outside. They're not progressives. They're progressives. She's showing me some kind of. They're not normal sunglasses because they're kind of funny. Or maybe she always wore glasses that were tinted or something. I keep seeing her in tinted eyeglasses.
So she wore eyeglasses, but she wore those old woman glasses, like old woman sunglasses, to where you would put them over your eyeglasses.
Yes.
And they look like huge and bulky, but she always wore those.
Because she's showing me these funny big glasses, but they're shaded, like they look like, it's the kind of thing that I just don't see her eyes clearly. I see that she's always wearing these like
funny.
tinted glasses. I can't explain it, but yeah, she's got like a really big personality.
Wow.
And then there's something funny about a belly button, but I have no idea what that means. There's like a joke about a belly button, and it might be something from when you're little. If there's like a belly button book or something to do with, that might be something you have to reach into the recesses of your mind about. But she's pointing to like, unless somebody had an umbilical hernia, and I don't think you would know that.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is, she used to always judge my mom because my mom didn't get into like tattoos and piercings and stuff like that until she was in her 30s. And
did she get her belly button pierced?
She got her belly button pierced.
That's what she's talking about. That's what she's talking about, because she's pointing to a belly button.
She used to always make fun of her for it. And then my mom,
that's why.
Dude, my mom caught her belly button ring on the door handle of a car and had it ripped out.
Oh my God, that's why your grandma's pointing to the belly. But she said there's something funny about a belly button, like a story with a belly button.
That
funny. Is why she would bring that up. Okay,
wow.
that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
and then also
weird.
I'm seeing a shower cap. See how, like, to demonstrate, like, I don't know why I'm seeing a shower cap, but that would be something that would be a joke to you, or she would always wear a shower cap, or there was a joke about a shower cap.
There might be.
There might be.
These are some questions that I probably got to ask my dad about.
Yeah, for sure. But
so Patsy Cline, shower cap, I'll bring those up.
Yeah, and I'm doubting Patsy Cline only because I'm like an Italian. I don't know. It doesn't feel like something an Italian woman would be into. But again, I don't know.
Might.
Like I'm seeing her, someone listening to Patsy Cline records, and I specifically hear Patsy Cline, and so maybe it is her. I don't know, but yeah, like that's the way I see it. Is when I'm giving you these messages, it's a lot of references to either things that have just happened. So she is letting you know she's around you all the time. She's such a huge part of your life, and so she knows all the things that are happening down to bingo. She also points to funny memories, and the reason they show me all these things is literally just to say I'm here. I'm not dead. I still remember these things. I still have a connection with you. And there's something about a gold tooth. But it feels like a dental. Did you have to have a gold tooth when you were, somebody had to have a gold tooth.
Not gold.
Okay. Was there a silver, something about a metal? It's like a metal.
I mean, all of us kids, we never brushed our teeth when we were young. We were always bad about that. So everybody had caps in their mouth.
Oh, it might be caps. Like there's something about, she's saying, but did you have one specifically? Because it feels like she's saying you had like a silver tooth or like a gold tooth or something.
I had a couple of them. Yeah. Whenever I was younger.
Did? Okay.
Yeah.
Really? That's funny because I don't know that about you, but she just told me that. It's almost like you're a pirate, the way she's pointing to this tooth that's like gold. It might not be gold, but metal. She's like,
that's
like
funny.
Gold teeth or something. And then she's kind of saying it's when he was little. So
yeah, I definitely had it whenever I was little. Yeah, for sure. You know, what's funny is that somebody gifted me because, all right, so a long time ago, me and Sean did it was like a spirit animal episode, like see what your spirit animal is, or see whatever your ancestor, what animal, it was something weird like that. Right. And whenever I did the meditation to see what my spirit animal was or whatever, it was a panda. And so ever since then, somebody sent in, like a listener of the show, like they had like a crystal shop, and they sent in like a jade colored little panda with, just holding a little bamboo. And I always keep it right here on my desk. But the reason why is because she had nothing but pandas all over her house. She was like obsessed with pandas like crazy. So It literally, it got to the point where she had to tell people, stop buying me fucking pandas. My house is too full of them.
Wait, that's so funny because today I saw a panda bear and I thought that's a sign of something. And I went as I was in a crystal shop today. I was in a crystal shop today and I saw a panda and I thought there's something about the panda. There's something significant about this.
Wow.
And I thought it was because I did a reading 2 days ago and I was like, I'm seeing an Asian country. And the guy was like, well, I was traveling to China. And I know this sounds obvious, but I was like, did you go see pandas while you were there? It's not because I was thinking China and pandas. I wasn't thinking at all. And he goes, yeah, I actually did. Like I actually went and like was really interested in pandas. And there was a whole thing about pandas when I was there. And so then today I saw this panda while I was in my friend's crystal shop. And I thought, panda, there's something about pandas. But I thought it was because I had just talked about it. But no, it's a foreshadowing. So also you guys pay attention to things like that. Like if you don't even know why, you're just like my eye caught this panda and I was thinking panda. Like it just caught my attention. So pay attention to those little things because it could be a sign from your loved one that comes up later in the day or later down the line.
You know what's so weird is I feel like our conversations with you have evolved. Like my understanding of how the psychic mind works and how to be able to, read your intuition and pay more attention to the details and the seemingly insignificant happenings. And like, it's so important to pay more attention to those because they are like little glimpses, like little things, like you're seeing it for a reason. And now I know that there's going to be some people who may be like real early on their spiritual journey, or maybe they're just an outright skeptic and they're going to hear, some of these conversations. Well, I know a psychic would never get anything wrong. They're always pinpoint. It's exactly. And it's like, look, for the people that are still in their process, like, and that's the thing. I feel like being a psychic is a process that is ever becoming, right? Like you're ever growing into that, ever growing your awareness as to the signs and the synchronicities and the messages that may come into your mind. And so like, I'm listening to you and I'm like, oh, so she's figuring it out too as she's going on throughout her day and figuring out like, how does this attach and how does this, because I've grown to like, wire my brain that way too now. Like I'm trying to get on that same page. And it's so funny. Like when did I ask you to come on the show? That was like earlier today, right?
Yeah.
Let's see when I texted you.
Like what time it was?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity because
I know. What if it was 3?
Okay. So I texted you. It was like right before noon today, Central Time. Mm-hmm. And literally an hour later, I'm sitting here and I'm doing my Rosicrucian studies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but and maybe this is a regular thing amongst people who are trying to access other realms and stuff. But whenever I'm in the middle of something, like if I'm paying attention to something logically, maybe reading, left brain kind of activity, it could be driving, it could be reading, it could be listening to somebody talk. It's like, for some reason, I'm paying attention, but then there's this other part of me that is able to perceive other information that's also coming in at the same time.
Yes,
and a lot of times it seems like it's like background noise, background information that you're not trying to pay attention to because you're trying to pay attention to this person talk, or you're trying to pay attention to what you're reading to, or you're trying to pay attention to what you're driving or whatever. But while I was reading my Rosicrucian stuff earlier, I just got the strangest thing. And this was like an hour after I messaged you. So it was weird timing. But while I was reading that, I got a random image. There's no reason why I even got this image in my mind. But I got an image of a frequent guest that comes on here all the time. His name is Adam Butler. He wrote the a DMT book, and he writes a bunch of DMT books and stuff like that. He's awesome. Because dude, this fucking guy has done DMT over 1,000 times. Like he is a full-on psychonaut, right? And he's written a lot of books as a result. So whenever he came on, he had said that he had just finished writing his 3rd book. And so I was like, oh, cool. So we were talking about that a little bit, and that was only last week. But today, an hour after I messaged you, I'm reading that, And I get an image in my mind of Adam sitting at his desk writing a new book. And so I was like, and because, we're all into this weird, wacky, seemingly weird shit. And so I felt, confident enough to be able to reach out to him. And so I reached out to him and I said, hey, dude, quick question. Are you right now or at any point in the next few days in the process of writing a new book? I'm testing something. I got a vision out of nowhere of you sitting down at a desk or a table thinking deeply about the words that you're writing down, and I figured it was of you writing your book. If not, carry on. And I just left it at that.
Yeah.
He sends me, and I just had him on last week. He didn't mention this. Like, he did not mention this book or anything. And he sends me back the cover of the book that he's writing right now, and it's called Dark Night of the Soul: A Comprehensive Guide to Breaking Through the Dark Night of the Soul. And then he just writes back, 1,000% yes, been hitting it hard. This will be out in a few weeks. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. And I know that he's an author, but I mean, are authors always writing all day long kind of thing? And, are you taking a couple of days off? Or I don't know how it works. But it was so strange because I was able to clarify that like what I was picking up was actually happening in the moment.
Yep. That's why sometimes I text my friends and I'll be like, by any chance, is this happening for you? And it's interesting to test it. And we can also test it too. We should I'm sending you like, a telepathic, like in fact, we could even test it now, but, and it might be a total flop, but like, okay, right now, what's the first image that you see that I'm thinking of an image and I'm just don't even stop to think. Just
school bus.
No, but that's okay because I think the key to it is it doesn't work every time. The key to it is don't think, just literally first thing that kind of pops out. I've got kind of two things in my mind, but actually I want to do this as an exercise anyway, because this is what I said when I want to practice with you is like, don't even try, don't even think about it. Just like, how you talked about tuning into what's in the back of your mind while you're talking to someone, because that's you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I just while I'm talking to you, I start to see images in the back of my mind. Like I'm seeing a Rubik's Cube right now. And then if you're talking to me, what is the first thing you see? And don't even think about it. Just first thing that comes in.
I don't know why I just started thinking about what is the name of that guy? Tim Burton.
Oh, Tim Burton.
And it could be because of the black branches behind you. They kind of look like a little.
It could, and also I realized I have to turn a light on in here because I'm in the pitch black dark. But this is kind of how it works, right? It's like I don't know if that actually. I mean that no. I mean I have a little. Actually, I have a little relevance to that, but I don't think that's what it is. Sometimes it's just a thought floating through your head, but also it could be for somebody else, and then also. Forget what I'm even thinking. You could be picking up on something in my auric field. So I tried this. I think I said this on your last show, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I did a podcast interview where I was interviewed by a couple, and I said, okay, let's just try it. For example, I said, because they're not mediums. And I'm like, yeah, so just tell me the first thing you think of. And the woman goes, rubber duck. I said, yeah, that's my sign from my friend Derek on the other side. Whenever he wants to show himself, he shows me rubber ducks. You did it. And they were blown away because it's so a school bus, I'm not sure if it has anything to do with anything off the top of my head, but that's how it would work. And it sometimes does. And also a school bus could be anything. But is Rubik's Cube to you significant in any way, shape, or form? May not be.
I never was able to crack that code. I'm not gonna lie.
I used to take mine on the bus and have this kid, Kelsey. There was a boy named Kelsey that took my bus, and he was the kid who knew how to crack the Rubik's Cube. Don't know why. So everyone would bring their Rubik's Cube for him to solve it, which kind of takes the whole fun out of the thing. But then I was like, there, it's done. And then it would mess it all up again. Yeah. My dad figured out how to do it, but it took him a while to crack it. Not me. I still don't even, it's beyond me.
There is a way to do it. There's a pattern to it. I know that there's people that they obsess over it. And I mean, hey, to each their own. I'm obsessed with weird shit.
It makes me crazy. Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically the way that psychic work works is like if I tap into your grandmother, I really just kind of say, hey, come here, show yourself to me, show me who you are, tell me about yourself. And then images start coming into my mind. And then I mess up when I question myself. So like I stopped because I was like, I don't think Patsy Cline makes sense, because she probably wouldn't like Patsy Cline because it's not really like the stereotype of an Italian grandma, but I go with it anyway. So I have to, even now I sometimes stop to think too long, and I have to say, just what is it? Like, I'm hearing bingo. I'm seeing these glasses. I'm seeing a shower cap. I'm seeing, just go, just don't you just got to trust what you're getting.
Just let it flow.
And like fish bones also came through, which could be the band Fishbone, or it could be like leaving bones in the fish. And there was some joke about somebody what I do first is I see the thing. So it's like a fishbone. And then I say, well, what does that mean? And then what is the feeling behind it? Oh, it's a lighthearted thing. And she's kind of pointing to someone going, no, you've got the bones in the fish. You got to take the bones out, debone the fish. So it could be something with you and your dad or your mom, something like that, where she was very particular about bones and fish or something. Don't quote me on that, but that's how it would sort of come to me.
Yeah, man, that is so interesting. And I think it's probably impossible to bat 1,000 with these things.
It is. And I always tell my clients, I'm not going to be, any good medium is only 75 to 80% accurate, because I'm only human. I have my own thoughts drifting in and out of my own head. But after 7 years of practicing this, I'm learning better to differentiate what's mine versus what's spirit. So even today, when I was having a random panic attack, I kept saying, Spirit, is this mine or is it somebody else's? Why would I be feeling like this? Why am I? And I'm like, well, I did have coffee today, and maybe I think I packed it too tight, because I'm at my friend's house, so I'm not able to like ration the coffee. I'm using a machine. Like maybe I had too much coffee. Maybe that's all it is. It's kind of rainy out. Maybe I'm depressed because it's like bringing back some old grief or something. I was trying to rationalize. Then I'm like, I just feel so unsettled, like so unsettled. Is this me or is this an energy from the outside? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it seems like, at least from my one experience, it seems like whatever comes through seemingly randomly, whenever the information that's coming to you has nothing to do at all with what you're doing.
Yes.
Like it seemingly is out of place, right? Is it, that's
I have
so
a good
interesting.
story about that too.
You think about how,
me.
we have so many thoughts every single day,
I know.
tens of thousands of thoughts. And most people can't really remember, 95%, if not more, of those thoughts. You wouldn't be able to recall what you were thinking earlier this morning, the moment you woke up, kind of thing. And maybe you could, but most people can't, because why? It seems pointless. So why train your brain to remember certain thoughts like that if there's no real point to it? But I think that it's important to catch on to all of these things, because I think that we're all attached to the higher realms. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you. Because you always hear about, because you were talking about the guy's name that you were able to guess in this house that either died or didn't die in that house, right? Do you think that wherever they are, they're still right here?
Yeah.
Like it's still literally right here. Wherever their house was, or wherever their family members are, whatever seems like home to them, or I'm sure that they can traverse and go wherever they want at the speed of thought kind of deal. But like, it's all happening right here. It's not up there. It's not over there. It's right, literally, like not exaggerating, literally right here, right?
A different vibration. Like they are right here. They're just at a higher frequency, so we can't see them because our eyes are not built to see fast moving particles. So that's why we see them with our third eye and not, some people do see them with their naked eye. I just met this young woman the other day when I was at the park, and it was so funny because I had walked this dog, because I'm a dog walker, and I walked this dog, and I said to myself as I left the house, do not lose these keys, do not lose these keys, put them somewhere safe. Sure enough, I walk the dog, I lose the keys are gone. I'm like, I just locked ourselves out of the house. So I walk around the park. There's this young woman there. She's like 20. So she is the maintenance park worker. She cleans up the park. And I go up to her. I'm like, hey, I lost my keys. if you find them, can you please let me know? And I said, I think I manifested this because I said, be careful or you're going to lose these keys. Don't lose these keys. Don't lose these keys. Don't lose these keys. And then I freaking lost the keys. And she said, well, maybe you didn't manifest them. Maybe you're just psychic and knew you were going to lose the keys. And I said, well, actually, I am a psychic. And she said, well, I am too, only she said, I talk to the dead. And I said, so do I. And at that moment, I felt chills. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel her grandpa here. And I said, tell me about that. She said, I see dead people. I go, okay, what do you mean? And she said, I see them. I said, well, what do they look like? She goes, they look like you. Like they're as solid as you are. They look exactly like people to me. And I didn't get into like, how do you know their souls? She said, I literally see them. But she said, but after my grandfather died when I was 14, and I was like, I knew it. I literally was about to say, your grandfather's here. And she goes, when my grandfather died, I stopped seeing them. She said, he came to me. We had a conversation. He was as real as anything. And then he moved on. And I said, and I said, your grandfather's here. I knew it. And I said, I gave her some pieces of evidence. And then I'm like, he has a Chihuahua. She said, yeah, that's his baby. Someone in the family took the Chihuahua because that's his baby. And I said, he's showing me a picture of you sitting on his lap. And she holds out her arm. There's a tattoo of her sitting on his lap when she was a little kid. And I was like, oh my God. So why did I tell that story? There was a reason. About how some people can literally see spirit. Like I would freak out if a man just came and sat down in this chair right now. I'd be more afraid because if he looked real, I'd be like, how did you get in this house? I don't see them, but I perceive them in my imagination. So I believe that people are, and also I interview near-death experiencers for my podcast,
Yes.
Magic is Real. So what people tell me is it's realer there than it is here. This is the dream.
Yes.
That's why I tattooed "Life is but a dream" on my arm, because
Tis.
this is actually the dream. And the quote unquote other side is the reality. So when people cross over, they always tell me it was like realer. When people say, oh, it was a hallucination, they're like, you are wrong. They're like, it is not a hallucination. It is realer than anything I've experienced. It's realer and more tangible than this chair that I'm sitting in. So they report that they realize this is sort of like, oh, I was asleep the whole time. Like I just woke up.
Wow.
Which is so
yeah. And I tell you what,
crazy.
those people that have those near-death experiences, I can't talk to enough of them. Like it is, or I can't watch enough of their videos. I can't read enough of their testimonies. It just gives me chills every time, because
Yeah.
it's crazy because you'll read them and it's almost like the chemistry in your own mind starts to change a little bit, because now you're like, all right, well, if that is more real than real, and what they're describing is seemingly a more philosophical, higher mind kind of way of describing the nature of their reality in comparison to ours, that makes more sense. Because, it's so strange because I feel like so many people believe that this is home base. Like this is the true nature, that this is the final point. I mean, we all know that we're eventually going to die and stuff like that. But, it's the people that think that, oh, you just turn into worm food and that's it. Lights go out, no experience at all. But it's like, well, if that's the case, why is it that whenever you go unconscious at night, you're still existing and aware of something that is happening?
Yeah.
You're unconscious. Like, if this material world, physical world is the one true place to be, why is it that you're able to unconsciously experience and become aware of vast amounts of other information, other people, other connections, And it's so easy to call it an illusion. And actually, I believe that that's probably like a survival tactic to say that these things are illusions, whether it's psychedelics or dreams or near-death experiences or whatever. It's easier to say that that was an illusion because it's hard for your mind to be able to compartmentalize, if that's more real than this, then what is this? You know, that's the question. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that. That's too much.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually do want to deal with it because this place is terrible. No, I mean, I love this. I love Earth. I love people. I love humanity. I love animals and all the things that come with this earth. What sucks about it is that people don't get it, and they come here and they're acting from a place of fear, and they're creating chaos where there doesn't need to be chaos. Like, we're granted and we're given this beautiful place to live. And then I always think that because I lived in Virginia for a while where my parents lived, and I would go to the battlefields. I love going to old historical Civil War sites and things. And I thought, so look how beautiful it is. It's green. It's springtime. The birds are singing. And they had to just come here and fight about it. Like, it's like people just killing one another and killing the natives and all this stuff that happened. I'm like, for what? Like, just be grateful you're here. Like, the people that don't get it, which is a lot of people, they ruin it, the experience for us. And at the same time, I know we're here to experience contrast. So what would be the point of coming here if it was all peace and love and rainbows? But also, like, what a waste of this gorgeous land we live on and this nature and all of the beautiful things that come with it. And then we have to muck it up with hurting everybody, like people hurting everybody.
Oh, dude. And I feel like people, you know, and this is what the, what are they called? The Gnostics. The Gnostics believe that this is, you know, the we're kind of trapped in this world, almost like the Truman Show kind of example, right?
Yeah.
Like the Gnostics believe that we're basically held captive by the demiurge and the archons and da 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 da. I don't like to take that point of view personally. I love a lot of Gnostic things, don't get me wrong, but that Gnostic point of view, I don't buy it. And because actually the Rosicrucian understanding of what is the nature of this physical world is that it is literally spirit that is descended into matter. So if you think about it like that literally everything around you is spirit made manifest, then that makes this place a lot more exciting to be in. You know, because you're literally conversing with spirit. Every single thing that you touch, everything that you see, everything that you think, whatever, it's all spirit made manifest. And that's what makes it so much more magical. And I imagine if people knew that, maybe we would be, you know, stop building cities everywhere and probably stop chopping down all the fucking trees and burying them like Bill Gates wants to do. It's just crazy, but I love learning about all of that deeper aspect kind of stuff. And it's so crazy, dude. I've been going really like hard into reading about theosophy and Rosicrucianism and Helena Blavatsky and all that kind of stuff. Like, that stuff is wild. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you start reading theosophy, it will make something click in your mind. Like, she was on one. So basically she was going around and she was talking to like supposedly like these adepts from the Himalayan mountains and a bunch of other places and stuff like that, like Tibet and stuff. And adept, have you ever heard of the word adept?
Not outside of adept consumer marketing, like not,
okay.
Or like the word adept.
So these adepts, the way that she describes them is that they are, imagine you dedicated every single second of your life to your spiritual life. Like you never worry about bills, you never worry about driving, you never worry about kids, you never worry about relationship. It is like they're damn near monks, right?
Monks,
like,
yeah.
So these people, they're able to like, they don't make themselves known. They kind of live up in the mountains, and these people have figured out what it means to reach the full human potential as far as like spirit and your spirituality goes. And from what she says is that they've dedicated so much of their time that they have mastered like astral traveling and remote viewing, and they've mastered how to live several hundred years, and they can go extremely long periods without eating. And like they can materialize objects in front of you. Like, and like maybe that's all fantasy. Maybe it's maybe there's a more esoteric way of understanding that rather than taking it literal. I tend to believe that that's literal, and I'll tell you why. Because there are so many books out there. They're hidden, and you got to look for them. But there are so many books out there that talk about these masters who are able to do the things that seemingly only one guy in the universe was ever able to knowingly do, which we call Jesus, and perform all these miracles and everything. Walk on water, turn water to wine, turn a loaf and a piece of fish into whatever, into a lot, and feed everybody, and heal the sick and cure the blind and do all these amazing things, right? Like Jesus was known as the Savior because he could do all of those things, right? Or that's one of the reasons anyway. But these people, these masters, or whatever you want to call them, Mahatmas is another word, adepts. These are the people that supposedly there's, from what she says, there's usually about 400 of them on Earth at any given time. And these people have literally mastered what it means to be human to the highest potential, to the highest degree. And it talks about how they can do all of these things. Anyhow, there's a bunch of different books that talk about this. My first time ever reading about any of this kind of stuff was Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, where he goes around and he's talking to all the masters as well. And they're able to, they were able to develop these cities, is basically, what they were, SIDDHIs or HIS. And some of them are able to develop a fragrance in their hand, whatever fragrance you can think of. I can develop it right here. Other people were able to develop like superhuman strength and like literally superhuman, like lifting up buildings and shit and like wild stuff. And my point to all of that is that I believe that we all have that potential. Like I believe that we all have the capability to be able to master these things if we only truly knew ourselves. And that's what I'm trying to do on a regular basis is try and meditate as much as I possibly can. Try and watch what I eat as much as I can. Try and drink as much water and, like get as much exercise as I possibly can, because a sound body produces a sound mind, in my opinion. And so if I'm able to do all of those things, I feel like my mind becomes a lot more clear. My body feels a lot less murky. And that way, if I'm picking up on something that I wouldn't otherwise pick up on because I'm too full or I'm too tired or whatever, then it's like it's another step in that direction to focusing more on the spiritual and less only on the physical. I'm obsessed with all of that right now. And I hope it doesn't die away.
No, I was going to say, please send me that, like, whatever videos and stuff. It's funny that you mentioned that because today I had a video suggested. So the first video I watched this morning was about just what you were talking about. And I haven't been deep diving, and it came up probably because we were on the same frequency. But it was about, how to control your energy field. And I have to see who this was. And it was a man, John Chang. Do you know about John Chang? He became widely known after demonstrations of the ancient Mopai system, a discipline centered on cultivating internal energy, often called chi or ki. And he could start fires with his hands and things like that. And they showed him like somebody touching him and it was like burning hot, or he would just do this and they'd get thrown, and they got thrown back. And it's funny that that was the first thing I watched today. And it's, but then he went off the grid because he had some visitation, he thought, from his former master teacher who was like, you're not supposed to be doing this or something. So he went off the grid. But apparently, and this is old footage. It does not look doctored. You can see him bending spoons and like setting things on fire with his hands, just with his energy field. And
I've seen that. Yeah. Where is he the one that was able to like set a crumpled up ball of paper on fire?
Guy.
Yeah,
that's what I was watching this morning.
I love all of that. And see, people will say it's all fake and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you only think it's fake because you don't know it to be a real possibility. Like, it's
Yeah.
so easy to just say, oh, that's fake if somebody starts levitating. But like,
Right.
levitation is real. Like, you can, like, I don't know how many people have been able to do it, but it has been a documented thing that the human is capable of doing.
Right. And they showed a clip from Mel Gibson on Joe Rogan. Take that all with a grain of salt, but he seemed earnest about it, that he had worked with a guy like this. And he said he literally levitated me up the wall and went like this, and I got thrown back against the wall. And, I know Mel Gibson is a little nuts, but I don't think he's nuts like that. I think he's just kind of troubled.
I don't think that he would lie about that. Yeah.
I don't think he
I
was
like
very
Mel
credible.
Gibson a lot, but yeah, I mean, he's
he's
real
had some
dogmatic with
problems.
his Catholicism for sure.
Yeah, he's had some problems, but it felt very credible to me. I believed him completely.
Yes. Oh, okay. So I want to go back to what we were talking about earlier in the conversation. I just just came to me. So we were talking about like the doomsday kind of dreams, and you had the weird feeling and stuff like that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The reason I asked you earlier what you feel about Bashar because so supposedly back whenever Trump was going against Kamala this past time, he had said that if Trump wins, then World War III is going to happen. And if Kamala wins, then there's going to be, alien disclosure. And that's where people were like kind of turning against him. They were like, oh man, why'd you have to go political? Because it almost seems
Right.
like you're trying to get people to vote for Kamala. And, like it rubbed people the wrong way. But interestingly enough, he has more recently come out and said there is still going to be disclosure. And whenever he was able to, him and others, he's not the only one. Others have also corroborated with this, saying that they believe that disclosure is going to happen. The going narrative is that the true disclosure is going to happen in 2027, next year, right?
Yeah. That's what Bush, I've heard that too.
But also that they don't see Trump as president when that happens.
Right.
Interestingly enough, it's long been said by old CIA directors and people who were, in military intelligence and stuff like that. It's been said that, and actually, who was it? Warner von Braun actually said this. Warner von Braun, if you know who that is, right?
Do I? Tell me who Warner von Braun is.
Warner von Braun was one of the Nazis that came over here in Project Paperclip.
Okay.
And supposedly he had like a bunch of ties with Walt Disney and a bunch of other people, but he was helping build like modern rocketry and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
yeah.
So he was like one of the mad Nazi scientists that we can,
Right.
we allowed to come over here. So anyway, Warner von Braun told his niece, I believe it was either his niece or his wife or something like that. And this woman has gone on record to say so, that like the final straw will be a fake alien invasion. You'll know that that's the last card, the final card. That's what it was. That the final card will be a fake alien invasion. And so I was thinking about it and trying to put the pieces together, with my weird conspiratorial, spiritual kind of mind here. If all of these things were to happen, and there's been a bunch of interviews, I'm sure, maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't, about J.D. Vance thinking that aliens are demons.
Yes.
Okay. And then his boy, Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is the guy that really helped J.D. Vance climb the ranks in order to get into politics, because J.D. Vance was a fucking nobody literally 5 years ago. And as a matter of fact, 5 years ago, he was a never Trumper. So it was real strange that he decided to, go red, and now he's all Team Trump. And, these people flip-flop like it ain't no big deal. They're just politics, right? So Peter Thiel recently, over the last, I think it's like 5 or 6 months, he has come out with like these classes where he's talking about the Antichrist. And it's really strange. Like this technocrat talking about the Antichrist. Supposedly he's like Christian, but he's like New Age Christian, what have you, whatever. And so wouldn't it be interesting that either Trump gets removed, Trump dies, something along those lines, either towards the end of this year or going into next year. And then J.D. Vance, he would be, he's second in command. He would go right up, right? Yeah. He would be the new president if Trump dies. If that's the case, then you got J.D. Vance as president. Peter Thiel, who was talking about the Antichrist, is all up in his ear. And if disclosure
and
is
I think
truly...
Peter Thiel is a reptilian, but
it probably is. I think the plan would be that if there is disclosure next year, then it's going to be marketed as demons for sure. Because these people that would be in charge would spin that narrative in that way. That these are demons, these are things that we should be scared of, and this is potentially even the end times. And for some reason, these fucking people have a weird obsession with the end times, trying to bring about the eschaton. If you've ever looked into eschatology, like people literally are obsessed with the end times, not just the end of their life, but the end of everybody's life, you know, for the final judgment. It could be a staged thing. I tell you what, dude, I really think that a lot of people are probably going to fall for it. And I don't know how it's going to come. Is it going to be some Project Bluebeam? Is it going to be them pretending to be aliens? I don't know. I mean, we already know that they have at least 30 years, at least a 30-year advantage as far as technology goes compared to what's actually out on the market. I don't know, dude. There's so many things that could happen. That's my thought on it, though.
I know. I agree. Yeah, that actually is. I would have thought that was nuts years ago, and now I'm like, no, that lines up. Like you said, lizard, right? Like Elon Musk, lizard. Erica Kirk, lizard. Teal, lizard. And I don't know if Erica Kirk is like taken over by lizards, whatever it is. I used to think that stuff was nuts, and now I'm like, oh, they're full on reptilians. My concern is that they're going to fake an alien invasion when actually the aliens are here to help us, and would actually, like, a real emergence and showing themselves would be fantastic. Not that they're all good, but you just reminded me that I had a dream last night that I was looking up at the sky and started to see lights coming down, like light. And it wasn't a premonition. It was like a dream. You know, it was like a weird, dark dream where I was like, look up there, and I could see them starting to come down. And then we were all kind of running because there were these like War of the Worlds kind of creatures, and we were hiding behind my whole dream was like trying to hide, and it reminded me of one of my favorite films, which is A Quiet Place. Anyone seen The Quiet Place?
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful film. I love that. And it was like that where we had to be quiet, but I just felt like we were there was limited closet space, and we were all trying to find a spot in the closet that wasn't already taken, where we could just completely be quiet. And as you were talking, I just had that memory. And like I said, it wasn't like a premonition. It was like a full on, we're running from these creatures, and like, shh, don't make a sound. And it turns into like a horror movie, and it was kind of scary, but there's something coming that I don't like. I don't think it's like the world's going to end and we're all going to, but it's something we don't like, but I also know that something I do like is coming, and that is that this is all going to be exposed, and the light's going to come to the surface. The worms are going to come to the surface, but then we're all going to sort of, there's going to be a revolution of like a big turnover where we're like, we've been run by reptilians this entire time. And I don't know what we do about that, but I'm really starting to see it. And like I said, I was never this person. I was always like pretty logical, rational, come from a pretty waspy family, grew up in Westport, Connecticut. It's like pretty normal person. And I'm really starting to see, oh my God, these people are not people. And I don't think Trump is a reptilian. I think he's like a puppet because he's such a narcissist that he's sort of being used and to further an agenda, because they're like, that guy, he's just smart enough and just dumb enough. Like, he's smart in his own way, and he's kind of dumb in his own way. But I also see that this is something is really like not right in government right now. Like it's not even about politics. It's like there's something dark.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't released or redacted any of the names from the Epstein files.
I mean,
like
that
that's
alone,
the darkest
that's when
shit.
it hit me.
Like if you really look into that, it is as dark as you can imagine.
Yep.
Like it's not just, underage sexual activity. Like it is dark, like eating kids. And
that's when I found out about that. That's when I'm like, this is not human. This is not human, because
no way.
there are psychopaths out in the world. We know this, but for them all to come together in a group, you could say water seeks its own level. And of course, one nudges the other. But how is it everyone? How is it everyone?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's when I was like, this is reptilian. There's no way human being. Yes, there are human beings that would do that, but also this is so much darker.
I actually don't believe that Trump is just an idiot. Like if you hear testimonies of people that actually know him and they talk about him, even the ones that hate him, if you know him, they say he is an extremely intelligent guy and really well read and stuff like that. And the reason I say that is because he had a book, and I can't remember one of his books that he put out like back in the 80s or 90s. And it was just the slightest mention. Like it was literally a one line in that book, and people are like, what did you say? And he says, oh yeah, whenever I was younger, my Kabbalah teacher taught me this. And it's like, well, most people who are idiots are not looking into secret societies.
So interesting.
You know, and like, and usually Kabbalism is Jewish mysticism. You see like his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, Jewish. I'm not saying that only people who are Jews practice the Kabbalah. I know a bunch of people.
Kabbalah. I'm super into it.
Kabbalah is fucking awesome. Like I'm not like, and there's a lot of conspiracy people that are like, you know, if you look into the Kabbalah, or if you look into Jewish mysticism or Christian mysticism, then it's evil and it's just darkness. It's like, you haven't fucking looked into it at all then, is what you're telling me. You don't know anything. You're scared because it is seemingly a secret society. But the thing is that there's literally nothing secret anymore. Like you can find anything on the internet. That's why I'm open to talk about the Rosicrucian stuff. You can find out literally everything that I say. You can find it out online. Like you can just research a little bit. It's all there. Like I'm not going to go into super depth with it or anything like that because it's meant to be, you know, a personal journey, and you know, it's not meant to be showboated or anything like that. Which is why I love it. Like it's an inner learning. And the reason is because a lot of this kind of initiatory mystery school, secret society kind of stuff, the reason I understand now why it has to be secret and why there has to be an initiation phase. I understand it because if you're just an outsider that has no interest in understanding the esoteric nature of our reality, it's going to go over your head and you're going to look at it like it's dark or that it's evil or that these people are speaking in code, and you're going to get scared and it's evil and it's unknown. It's all these things, right? But it's none of that. Like, I can't speak for every secret society out there. I'm sure there's a few turds in the fucking punch bowl, right? Just like with everything. It's like, but the more I understand and the more I read into it and research it, it is learning about the nature of yourself and the reality that you're in at such a deeper level that is damn near poetic. Like it's mystical in its own right in the most poetic way. And I love it. That's why I love it, because it resonates. Yeah. You know, like anybody that's been on this mystical, spiritual kind of journey, like if you're looking for the deeper, more knowledgeable, esoteric kind of stuff, don't be scared to look into the mystery schools, dude. Don't be scared. It's awesome. You would love it. I think you would love it, actually.
I do too. So we'll have to talk more about it.
Highly suggest it. Yeah, it's a freaking, it is. I mean, you got to be dedicated. You know, it's an everyday thing. It's not an all day thing. It's an everyday, you know, maybe give yourself a half an hour towards it every day. But I mean, that should be no different than anybody else that is practicing a religion or a spiritual practice, or, you know, you should be meditating every day anyway. You know, this is just like a more guided way of meditating.
Oh, nice.
It's more awesome that way.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Dougie, I saw that you sent, he's not here anymore. Dougie sent, this trip is huge. I trip the best trips. No one trips like I do. Talking about presidents.
Wait, that's amazing. Oh my God. I love that. Oh my God.
The presidents that should go through the initiation first.
That is so great. Oh God. Can we save that? Are we allowed to have that? I'm saving it to my desktop.
He would be the best hippie of all time. The funniest one for sure.
The funniest one.
Could you imagine?
Oh, that's so good.
I astral projected to Iran last night. What they're doing there, it's not good. It's not good.
I wish I would just love to know what his interpretation of the whole thing would be. Oh man, why won't he do it? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he has. We don't know. I doubt it.
I don't know. It's very possible.
I'm about to do an ayahuasca journey. So we'll have to talk about that as well.
Oh, I'm
in a few
scared for you,
weeks.
but also excited for you.
I'm scared too. I'm like terrified and also excited. And also maybe that's why I had a panic attack today. I don't know.
Where are you going for it? Are you going to like South America or whatever for it?
No, but the person who is the facilitator is out of Peru. It's an American person who moved to Peru and then did work in Brazil and then now resides in Chile. But
I interviewed that guy. What's his name?
Oh, it's not a guy. It's a woman. I'm just not mentioning
never
her name
mind.
because of yeah, we'll talk about that just because they're allowed to practice it in there.
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
not here. So
Yeah.
but so it's happening in California. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. Maybe I'm having a panic attack about it, but also it's happening.
I mean, you've done DMT before, haven't you?
No, I never have.
Oh, what?
Never have.
Have you done, so you haven't done any version of DMT?
No, not, and I'm not going to do 5-MeO because I have a friend who swears by 5-MeO. I have 3 girlfriends that did it and went into like dark, not just in the moment, but like for like a month, they were in a deep, dark depression and it was not a good experience for them. And they did not some people feel that way. And I was curious about it. And 3 of my girlfriends were like, you do not want to do it. It fucked me up for months, like really badly. And it was like traumatizing and it did not help me grow. So I think it just depends on I don't know. I'm very sensitive. I just don't know if it might be a little too extreme.
Well, the good thing is that you're going to be doing it. So this person is a medicine woman or a shaman of sort.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So at least you're going to have that kind of,
It's
somebody
gonna be
holding
a whole
space.
week. It's going to be 2 full days. It's like a retreat kind of thing with the whole shaman experience, medicine, music.
Is she one that will like trip with you?
I don't think so.
They got some shamans out there.
I know.
That, like,
I don't.
You take the ayahuasca, they take the ayahuasca. You're both going
No, I
there.
think she's going to be there just in case if something goes wrong, which I don't think it will because I don't think I'm supposed to die yet. But I did just this morning after I said, yeah, I'm going to do this, I opened up Facebook and it was like a report about, I don't know his name.
Oh,
The guy who just, the
Asian guy. Yeah, I saw that. I forget what his name is.
somebody died. And I actually don't know. I mean, I feel terrible for her and her family. And I'm also like,
It was like an
God,
overdose.
I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, the thing
Feel
about that
so bad for
is
him.
that they combined a bunch of different psychedelics together.
Yes. Yes.
It was like what's that? Ketamine
Oh,
combined
God.
like DMT, ketamine, and then like another psychedelic. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that's too fucking much, dude. Like,
I know. That's
I'm
so
sorry.
scary.
Anybody that's ever done DMT, nobody's ever gonna say, "Oh, that wasn't enough." If it wasn't enough, you did
yeah.
too small of a portion because it is the most potent psychedelic on the planet. If you need to combine that with anything, like, I mean, there's no way. But he was all into like this weird spiritual shit, supposedly. Like,
Yeah. I don't
it was
know
like
anything
real-
about him.
It was
so
like
I
real
can't-
culty, from what I hear.
That's what it sounds like. In which case, I don't feel. Well, I don't know him. I'm just going to say I don't feel as bad if that's the case. But I just was like, oh my God, what if that happened? What if you did that? What if you did that and someone died? That's
Dude,
too big a liability.
And she said that she paid like $2,000 for that trip. So that
my
like paid
God.
him $2,000 for that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh God. That's awful.
Hmm.
So yeah, I got a little nervous after I read that, and maybe that's why I had a panic attack today. But you know.
I mean, well, maybe that's good. Have you ever had an ego death?
No.
Oh, well, that is the end of the world, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've had 2 of them, and
I know. And I want to deep dive on that with you off, like we have time to just like talk about it. But yeah,
they're really beneficial building blocks to the person that you'll become.
yeah.
I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for those ego deaths. 100,000%.
Okay.
Like
that's interesting to hear.
like things wouldn't have unlocked had I not been there and seen it and felt it and realized it and been scared to fucking death, because at least my ego death, it wasn't like I died. It's like everybody died. Everybody.
Wow.
And it's literally like I accidentally hit the delete button on reality. That's what it was like. And so like you feel all the responsibility for ending everybody's experience. That was my experience. And
Wow.
so
Because we're all one. Is that why?
because we're all fucking one. Yeah, it's all one
Oh
thing.
my God, that just gave me chills.
And I knew that back then. Let me put it this way. I believed that back then. I didn't know that back then. Now I know it,
Yeah.
and it's something that'll push you right over the edge of all of your wild beliefs and all of your wild thoughts. It'll go through a new filter now, through that filter, that experience that you had, and you'll be able to sift through like, all right, there's no such thing as believe anymore. Like it's either it's real or it's not. And the things that you think are real or not right now are 100% going to change after that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. I've heard
it's a
great
rocky
things and
ride, but
yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous. Also, because I've done so much healing that I'm not even in a place where I feel like I need more healing. Except the point of it is that we're always healing. The point of it is there's still lots of. I have a great understanding, and I'm also a researcher. Like that's why they call it psychonaut. It's almost like I want to I just want to research it. And I know that's not the reason you're supposed to do it, but there's like this curiosity and this research in it that I want to kind of experience. And it's like, I know I talk to dead people, but I want like maybe even a further understanding without dying. Do you hear me? Without dying, where I can understand it, not just communicate with the other side, but like really understand that. What are we? Why are we here? Where are we? What are we? How we relate with other people, and also the fears that hold us back, which the programming. I think I'm just ready for I'm at a crossroads in my life where I'm like, I just want to sort of exit the matrix to a degree. So.
Oh, interesting. White Boy Wizard said, "Oh hell yes, I'm pumped for you. 5-MeO is the fucking best. I wonder if they did the synthetic from ayahuasca. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't look too much into it. Honestly, I just saw a clip of somebody describing it. I didn't even do like a deep dive into it. But
that was in regards to her girlfriends having a bad time off the 5-MeO because the only people I've heard
the synthetic.
the only people I've heard have bad stuff like that has been the synthetic.
Thank you for that input. I bet you're right, because I mean, it was in LA.
Yeah,
it was like they did it in LA. I don't know what it was, but I bet that's right. And like I have done mushrooms a bunch, but it's been since like college that I took enough to be. I just microdose them. So I don't ever really get to that place where I'm like, holy shit, I'm in another world. And I've been taking them for quite a long time. Well, a couple years. And I have found that I don't necessarily have any kind of spiritual epiphanies or anything when I'm on them. And that's a no to the hero dose. However, it enhances my mediumship abilities. If it's not, it's a fine line, right? It's like, you don't want to be tripping because then you don't know what's a hallucination and even though none of it's a hallucination. But in order for me to be very clearly channeling, I have to be right on that. Like I have a microdose, so I'm just a little bit enhanced, but I don't want to actually start to hallucinate because at that point, then I don't know then it's hard for me to sort of meet spirit where it actually is. Then I'm too deep. So I've made that mistake. And I really don't take them very often anymore. But in fact, it's been like a year. But there was a time when I lived in Arizona where I would go to Sedona every weekend and go out to the desert hiking by myself and take them. I never really had any kind of like, oh, I understand the meaning of life, but I did feel more connected. And I definitely took some before readings and was like, oh my God, it was like they were talking in my ear. So it definitely removes that veil.
Just eat 7 grams, just go for it.
Well, yeah. I was asking that because I wanted to like, I don't know you personally or whatever, but I feel like anybody who goes into any sort of trip with fear on the front end,
yeah,
it's like you got to get that out of there before you
Because then that's what you
yeah.
confront.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah.
Work that out, whatever you got to do, so that when you get there, you smiles and excited and like, let's fucking go.
Oh, thank you. That's really helpful.
That
It's just that's the programming, right? It's like the attachment to this world is like, ugh. It's kind of scary to like let go, I think sometimes, and we don't want to do that.
You can't see it in the view right here because my screen is not far back enough. But you see the Hanged Man card that I have, the little banner right there? Mm-hmm. Sean actually got that for me because of my bad trip. And the reason I had a bad trip, quote unquote bad, is because I couldn't let go. And you can, I went in there with all intentions. I know I got to surrender. I know I got to let go. But that was surface level me. The inner me was scared to let go.
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to let go and surrender on all phases, all levels of yourself. If you don't, it is going to be a fucking hellish ride. So lots of meditation, and learning that even if worst case scenario happens, whatever your worst case scenario would be, we still exist forever. Yeah. It would just be on to the next frontier. It's the next fucking bowling game of bowling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not being so connected. It's almost like, love it, but don't be attached to it kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, attachment is big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we definitely develop an attachment to this reality. And that's hard to loosen our grips from. But just know that you ain't gonna die. You're not gonna die off of ayahuasca. And you got to remind yourself of that whenever you're in there.
Right.
This is going to be crazy. I'm going to experience wild shit. My heart rate, if it starts getting a little, too much, my heart rate will probably go up and whatever. But just remind yourself, this is just an ayahuasca trip. I'm going to make it through. And you're going to have the medicine woman right there to remind you of all that anyway. So I'm kind of scared to try it myself, but I feel like you would have a better experience because, and look, it's not a guaranteed bad trip, there's people that have ayahuasca trips and they keep going back. They do them hundreds of times because it's so amazing.
I know people that did it regularly for a long period of time in the interest of healing, not just to, but, and they made it through, they had great experiences. And they're just things that I'm like, if there's anything else Spirit wants me to know that I'm not already catching, just let me know.
Well,
just tell me.
Maybe this card's for you. We'll see. But we got a tarot card, and my lovely mother colored this in for me.
Chariot?
This is the Chariot.
Oh, it's coloring ones.
Yes, yeah, that's why I bought it for her. But as you can see, she has two sphinxes.
It's the Chariot.
And on the traditional Rider-Waite version, it's one black sphinx with black and white stripes, and then one white sphinx with black and white stripes. But and so I'll read it here. So the Chariot. Guided by our intuition, the Chariot is the structure that protects us while we are taking inspired action. There you go. A little protection for you.
Let's go, go, go.
A symbol of building momentum. The Chariot card signals that you are beginning to create your plan of action. This card shows a man in armor at the reins and ready for battle, yet the Chariot itself is not in motion. This is because the Chariot represents the solid foundation of forethought that is needed before one can jump into action.
Oh my God. Wow.
The pair of sphinxes at the front of the Chariot are lying motionless on the ground, and their only sign of movement is their eyes gazing in opposite directions. They appear to be surveying their surroundings, considering which way to go. The river behind the scene, a symbol of emotions, suggests the importance of awaiting intuitive guidance before taking any action. A canopy of stars above the charioteer's head represents the value of looking to the cosmos for guidance, while his armor signifies his connection to the zodiac sign Cancer's hard outer shell of protection. So there's that. The spiritual message says, oh, this is good. You're ready to take your spiritual practice to the next level, which means you're gaining momentum in life. Based on your intention of moving forward, you can utilize your spiritual practice to guide you to the next phase of life with confidence. There you go.
That was for me.
Positive
and probably
message.
for someone else. Thank you.
Positive. Yes.
I mean,
what we
I'm
like.
not afraid of death. I just don't want to do that to my family.
Not
so
yet.
I'm pretty sure I think I still have more to do here.
Oh yeah. I mean, as far as numerology goes, it's the number 7, and the number 7 represents personal growth, planning, and assessing.
Seven's my favorite number.
Oh, there we go. We're on.
I don't know why. I just like it.
Go ahead, white boy.
I always thought it'd be a cool name for a kid. 7.
That is cool, and it's an awesome movie too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna ask. You might have said at the beginning of the show, but I was painting and up on a ladder, dinking around. Can I follow you on Instagram somewhere? Because I definitely want to hear about your story when you come back.
Oh my God, yay.
I don't know anybody who was a
do.
freaking psychic that went to go do ayahuasca, because like you said earlier, the whole we are one thing, like that's like Jonathan, I much believed that too when I went to go do that 5-MeO. But when I came out of that shit, I was just like, there's no death. We're all one. This is fucking great. Like, and so like where you can already tap into the other side, obviously you already know on a deeper, level than I ever thought of, that like we are all one, or else you wouldn't be able to do the things that you do. So yeah, I 100% want to keep up with you.
Please do. It's Real Magic Shannon. I will follow you back. And feel free to ask questions too. And then my podcast is Magic is Real, which is on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, where I interview near-death experiencers, et cetera, and I will be doing, assuming I live, I will be, if I survive, I will be doing an episode about it as well, but I'll also be posting about it. So,
Perfect.
The time has come.
All
the time
right.
has come.
Well, look, anybody that wants to be able to follow Shannon, she just gave the links, and we'll have them down there in the show notes below. Shannon, anything else you want to say? Wait, when are you doing this again, this ayahuasca journey?
Well, tentatively, because it's the reason I'm doing it is not because I suddenly was like, I need to do a journey right now. I kind of was like, I'm good. My friend is gifting it to me. So,
nice.
Because he's doing it too. And he's done it many times and was like, we've been close friends since we were 19. And he's like, we've been through the fire together. Let's do it. So, tentatively August 7th and 8th. And there's a possibility of it being September 10th or 11th, but I think it's looking more like coming up here. So I'm hoping it's kind of soon, but divine timing. So I will let you know how it turns out. And I just have faith I'm not going to die.
Perfect.
I have more to do here. I have more to do here.
I mean, you might experience,
Jonathan would be sad.
You might experience temporary death, but
yeah,
that's good. That's a good thing.
It's so good. I mean, it's all going to happen anyway.
In the long run, it's a good thing.
I just have more to do here. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
So parting words are just that we're all mediums. We're all psychics. There's nothing special about me other than that I happen to be a very sensitive person. Some people can, as long as you have, like hands, as long as you have fingers and hands and arms, you can play piano. Not everybody's going to be Chopin, but everyone can learn as long as you've got the, physical ability to do it. And it's just a matter of honing the skill, and it's just a matter of trust. And more than anything, it's just a matter of attention and intention. It's just pay attention. And also, it's about not seeking it. Just let it fall in like a feather. That's what I always say. Less forcing, more allowing. Don't try to strain for the information to come. That's when we get in our way. Relax. The reason I'm able to read Jonathan right now so easily is because I'm in the dark. I'm totally relaxed. I know Jonathan. We have a bond. We have a connection. I'm so at ease with him. So I'm not freaking out about, oh my God, am I right? Is this right? I'm just gently letting it fall in like a feather and trusting what I'm getting and not worrying about if I'm wrong or so everybody just pay attention. The signs are there. The symbols are there. It's a matter of belief, faith, trust, and noticing. The more you notice, the more spirit continues to give you more and more. When they see that you're understanding the messages and the language, they're like, oh, you understand that I just showed you 11:11. Want to see it again? Want to see it again? And then every time you see it, go, hey, thanks, I see you. Not that sometimes 11:11 is just 11:11 because that's just what time it is. But you'll know when it's like you keep seeing it, or you thought of a loved one and you see it again, or you hear it at a certain moment. And then after that, they know, okay, that's going to be our sign. Like the rubber duckies, the yellow duckies. It's the story behind it is between my friend on the other side and another friend of mine. But because that was their symbol, he now shows it to all of us. And it's not just a yellow ducky. It's like in the crate, like walking into an elevator and there's a yellow ducky sitting up on the elevator, the button console thing. It's like, I know that's you. Like there's no, why is that there? So pay attention to the signs. We're all connected and there is no death.
Yes, let's go. I love these kind of conversations. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Me too.
This was awesome, and it's been a little too long, so we're gonna have to...
I know, we get into it. I want to say sorry, not sorry, but...
It's all in divine timing anyway.
Yeah.
You know how it be. But look, if Psychic Shannon, magic is real Shannon, if she came here and she taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.